Hello, thanks for joining me. We are in a secret location in the back blocks of Vienna. This is a closed room reveal for the all-new AMG GT, which is this car. Today is July the 10th, but by the time you see this video, it'll be probably, I think, August 19th. That's the embargo date. So yes, this is an all-new car. It might look evolutionary, but underneath it's all new building blocks. This actually shares its chassis with the all-new SL, the R232. So it's an aluminium space frame chassis, all new. It's a bigger car than the previous AMG GT, which, if you're particularly keen-eyed, you might have picked up on. The wheelbase is about 70 millimeters longer, so it's a bigger, brawnier car, and you might pick up on some of that extra visual muscle. But while it shares its building blocks with the new SL, it has its own design language, so it actually looks like a completely different car. But yet it carries over the essence of the previous AMG GT. So you have the classic long bonnet, short tail, and the classic GT shape. Under the bonnet, once again, is the 4-liter twin-turbo V8. This is the GT63, so in this car it puts out 585 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds. This car hits 315 kilometers flat out. There will also be a GT55, which uses the same V8 but in a lower state of tune, so 476 horsepower and 700 newton meters. Drive is relayed by a 9-speed MCT, multi-clutch transmission. So it's an automatic but with a wet startup clutch. So it's very fast and responsive. But what's new for this car is a all-wheel drive format. So it's the 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive 4MATIC as standard. And also four-wheel steer is introduced for the first time in this car to introduce a greater sense of agility. Also a lockable rear differentials. And also there is a drift mode, so you can disengage the front axle and have full rear-wheel drive. So as we move around to the side of the car, this car has the optional aerodynamic package. So it has this carbon fiber splitter up front, a few carbon bits, but there's also different options there's a chrome package as well as I think a night package, which is gloss black. You have these high intensity headlights, digital headlights, which I think 1.3 million pixels per light, which can also be used to project images apart from providing excellent illumination. So I will move around here. This car is wearing the 21-inch rims. 20-inch rims will be standard. This has the optional 21-inch forged alloys, and these will be available in a few different styles. This car has carbon ceramic brakes. Steel discs will be standard. So perhaps we can sort of get a sense of the proportions of the car. The Glasshouse has been increased in size, and the aim has been to provide better visibility all around, because this car, although it builds on the performance of the old car, it's supposed to be a lot faster, but also a lot more usable. So you have a larger Glasshouse. Also new is an optional 2+2 format. So there are small rear seats, which are good for children and even adults up to 1.50 meters. So that's a key step forward from the old car. The wheelbase is 70 millimeters, give or take, longer than the old car to accommodate the rear seats and provide a more spacious cabin. So obviously, with all the new kit and the increased size, the weight of this car goes up. I think it's about 1.9 tons. Whereas the old one was more like, I think, just under 1.8. So it's an aluminium space frame chassis. The bodywork is aluminium, but of course there's high-strength steel used for the structural elements. And then you have these recessed door handles, which sort of sit flush when they're not being used. So we can move around to the rear of the car also and sort of get a sense. So normally there is an active rear wing which has 5 positions. This car has the fixed rear wing as part of the aerodynamic package, and obviously the carbon fiber diffuser on this car. And you have these sort of very three-dimensional tail lights here, which also a nice design element, but still carrying over the essence of the old AMG GT. And if we pop that open, we can see that now there's actually a lot more luggage space. So if you have a couple of golf bags or even, and then you can fold down the rear seats to really extend luggage capacity. So that's a nice step forward because usability is much greater in this car than the old one. And also, we can then move around perhaps to the interior, and I can give you a quick walkthrough. So, so you have a sort of a binnacle style, I don't know if we're allowed, and then a cockpit here with a fully digitized display, and then a much bigger infotainment screen. And then you have these lovely turbine style vents. So the essence of the car is carried over from the old one, but it's a much more contemporary interpretation, and a beautiful steering wheel with these carbon fiber inserts here. So this car, deliveries of this car will begin in Europe in early 2024, but depending on different markets, it will depend when cars arrive in your particular market. Pricing, we don't have any information as yet, but we're told it'll be sort of more or less line ball with where the outgoing model's at. So that is the 2024 AMG GT in a nutshell. We can't wait to drive this car, but we'll have to wait a few months. But yeah, I think it could build on the sales of the existing car, especially with the added usability of the rear seats and just a more spacious feel in general. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.